Let me first, Erika, talk about the board and board skills. Okay,
Mhm.
and then I'll talk about maybe CEO. As I said, I think the board leadership role becomes very critical. That you have a board leader who has respect of the peers in the boardroom and has full trust and connection with the CEO, because they're not just a messenger from the board to the CEO and vice versa. They really have to have the courage and support and understanding that they're conveying the point of view which may be at odds with how the management is thinking at times. So that's one. Part of it requires, as I said, few things in terms of board makeup, I would say, and we can talk about how to accelerate the board, what I call refreshment. Obviously, you need domain knowledge. You need a financial expert. I think CEOs, irrespective of the industry, bring a unique perspective because they deal with multi-part challenges. I would say, CHROs, because the workforce and talent is becoming increasingly important. I think having people with people leadership skills having on the board is a good thing. And the last thing I would say is the demographics, because I think boards are reluctant to recruit younger people because they think it's a lifetime appointment. And if they have a 35-year-old on the board, he or she will stay for 30 years based on the current way of staffing the public boards. And I think it's so important to get demographic point of view because the generational thinking is very different. So those are some of the things I would say are important skills to have in the board as part of the refreshment process of the board itself. The leader, and of course the skill sets. Amongst the CEOs, I think that's a couple of things. One I would say is somebody who is a good listener, because as I said, there's so many things going on outside world. Somebody who is externally focused, not just internally or based on history, what worked in the past is going to work in the future. Or somebody who is very, I wouldn't say autocratic, but more directive. So I think listening ability is extremely important, and to get different perspectives from both inside and outside. The second thing I would say is uh, communication skill, because with changing environment, not everything goes according to plan. Have the ability to share the longer term vision, and when things don't go right, admit it and be willing to pivot, because I think that's also a message for the management team, is that if things are not going right, don't just hide them behind, but speak up and tell us what is it that we should be doing to fix it, rather than just kind of hide it under the cover for a while, and then things get really bad, or you waste a lot of time and money. So I think willingness to listen, willingness to learn from mistakes, keeping an outside in perspective, and really, I would say, building the trust and confidence of all stakeholders, not just the owners. I think those are some of the traits I think in CEOs is becoming important, and without sacrificing what your core strategy and purpose is. And while you deal with all the impossible things that you have to deal with every day, whether it's tariff or borders being closed or the supply chain and all of that.